Okay, so today's lesson is going to be a video that's broken down into two pieces. The first piece is going to be notes. The second piece is going to be examples. Make sure you pause the tape throughout. So here's the activator. It says two friends are looking at different grids. Tony says that both grids have 3% shaded. Michelle says her first grid has 30% shaded. Which of the friends do you agree with and why? So pause the tape and answer the question in the space provided. Okay, so we're going to come back to this later. What you need to start thinking about here is that that first picture actually has 100 squares and 30 of them are colored in, and this grid has 3 that are colored in out of 10. So they're different fractions, and by the end of this lesson, you should be able to decide if they are the same, if one is more than the other, or how they're related. So, notes for today. This is on your sheet. Percents are a rate out of 100. And to find a percent, it's always the part over 100. That gives you the percent. So go ahead and pause this and take the notes now. So here's some examples, which you can also put down. Here's the first example. It says John took a total of 100 free throws and made 76 of them. What was John's percent of success? So you see from the notes that percent is always out of 100. We have to have the denominator out of 100. The top number is the part, like what you're looking for. He made 76 of them, so 76 out of 100 is 76%. So that is how you make a percent. Oh, these are the pictures from the activator. That first picture that you saw was 30 out of 100. So that is 30%. The part is 30. There are 30 boxes colored in. The total is 100. That is 30 out of 100. On this grid, it is not out of 100, but we can still figure out what the percentage is. We have 3 colored in. That's the part. And the total is 10. So our goal here is to get this out of 100 because that is literally what a percent is. So we're going to have to think of, how can we get that out of 100? And I'm sure some of you are already noticing, hey, this is just like a ticket. If I multiply 10 times 10, that's how I get to 100. 3 times 10 is 30, and 30 out of 100 is equivalent to 30%. Both of those grids are the same. Pause, make sure you have this copied down on your page before you move forward. So when we create equivalent fractions, it is just like using tickets, except there's going to be some specific factor pairs, some multipliers that help us to do it. And when we're talking about factor pairs, we are talking about ways that we can make 100 with multiplication. For example, we can do 1 times 100. We can do 2 times 50. We can do 4 times 25. We can do 5 times 20. And we can do 10 times 10. Those are all the different ways that you can make 100. 1 times 100, 2 times 50, 5 times 20, 4 times 25, and 10 times 10. Pause the tape now, copy down the factor pairs, and then answer those questions on your page. So basically what you're going to do is use those mini tickets and convert them out of 100. After you've done that, you can go ahead and unpause your screen. Okay, so that first one, to go from 25 to 100, we're going to times by 4 because 25 times 4 is a factor pair that gives you 100. Using those factor pairs is going to make your life a lot easier. So that's going to be 25 out of 100, aka 25%. Over here, to go from 50 to 100, I find my factor pair, 2 times 50. So 50 times 2 is 100. 40 times 2 is 80, so 80 out of 100 is 80%. Again, percents are a rate out of 100. 5 times 20 gives you 100. If we multiply the denominator, the bottom times 20, we also multiply the top. 60 out of 100 is 60% because that factor pair, 5 and 20, goes to 100. And then 10 times 10 is 100. 4 times 10 is 40. 40 out of 100 is 40%. So that's the first part of the video. Once you get here, you'll click on the second bit.ly from the board to get to part 2.